Well, Masked Singer family, we are back. It is season 10. I've got my handy-dandy clue book here, my Toy Story 3 notebook. I've been keeping all the clues in since we started doing these videos. We're going to unpack all the clues. We're going to meet the first 5 contestants for the season. I will give you my guesses. I will tell you the panel's guesses, and then we will have an unmasking. Let's talk the Masked Singer. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It, and yes, welcome back to the Masked Singer recap and reaction videos. I've been doing these on the channel since season 3. We even did a season of the Masked Dancer in there. That was not, I guess, renewed. We never saw that again. But in any event, we are going to meet the first 5 contestants for this season. We've got the Gazelle, the Diver, the S'more, the Rubber Ducky, and the Cow. And we'll talk about all of this here and who I think could be under these masks momentarily. But first, let me welcome you into the channel here. Thank you for finding this video. If you only check out my channel during Masked Singer season, let me urge you to check out some of my other videos. I post TV reviews and movie reviews just about every day. I try to post something new. So there is so much to check out on the channel and a lot of stuff in handy-dandy playlists on the homepage. You can check out all my 2023 movie reviews in one playlist, my TV reviews in another. And yes, I will have a playlist as well for my Masked Singer Season 10 reviews. So that way, if you are only interested in Masked Singer content, then you can check that out as well. But please consider subscribing down below. Would love to have you here on the channel that way. But the most important thing I always say for the Masked Singer videos is the comment section. Let me know in the comments who you think is under these masks. Let me know where I'm wrong, where I've stepped, misspoke, what have you. And you let me know who you think is under these masks. And tell me why. Tell me what clues spoke to you with each performance. All right, so let's get into it. So they've gone back really to the season 1 through 7, I guess, in terms of how they're presenting it. The last couple seasons, they were doing these, 3 singers per night. 2 would go home, and then 1 would advance. And it allowed them certainly to have higher profile people on the show. We've had a lot of, really high profile people that I think would only do 1 episode. Dick Van Dyke and Michael Bolton and I'm trying to think, William Shatner. There's been a lot of people in the last couple of seasons that I think contractually were like, look, just vote me off after 1. I'll have a little fun with it. But now they've returned to the, the original form of the show. So I don't know if there's going to be 3 different groups of contestants. I don't know if we're bringing back the wild card this season. That all remains to be seen. But for now, we've got these 5. And I will say there was a preview episode a couple of weeks ago, and I thought about doing a video for it. But the only reason I found out about it is because Demi Lovato, I saw something come up in my Facebook post or something about Demi Lovato on The Masked Singer, and I thought, oh, I didn't think the season started yet. And so they did have one, little unmasking there. I don't know that I would have gotten it from the start. I do listen to Demi Lovato a lot, so knowing that it was her, I recognized the voice immediately. I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure I would have gotten that. I don't know. It's impossible to say if I would or would not have. But in any event, they, I watched it for about 15 minutes, and they didn't seem to be really giving out a lot of information about the upcoming season, so I didn't review that. But if you did catch that special and you found out some information about one of the characters or whatever, let me know that in the comments as well. All right, so I think I have a handle on at least 2 of these, including the one that is going home. 1, I think I have a okay guess on, and 2, I'm a bit in the weeds on, so you'll have to help me with those. But we start with Gazelle, and this is, I believe, the only female in this first group. I'm not sure why they did that. 4 guys and 1 female. There is a little bit of speculation on the 5th performer, if it's maybe a very deep-voiced female, but I think once the performance happened, the panel was in agreement. Okay, no, this is most likely a dude. And we've had that a little bit before too, people throwing us off in that way. But this was the only female, and my God, I mean, she could win the whole thing. you know, Look, I know there are still many, many contestants we have not seen yet, but look, there's a reason they put her first on the first episode. I mean, this is a powerhouse vocalist. And so we'll get into my thoughts here in a moment. But clue wise, as she said, I've always leapt headfirst into opportunities to be on stage. I saw my first Broadway show at 6, and there was a poster that said "Hello Doll" on it. And obviously that's a play on Hello Dolly. I'm not sure if that was specifically this person's first Broadway show. But in any event, she said, I knew I wanted to perform at that point. As a teenager, I performed in a national talent competition, and we see pom-poms at that point. So I don't know if she was in a cheerleading competition or what that meant. But she said she crashed and burned there. We see a Hawaiian shirt with a bunch of palm trees on it. She said it was, she said of the talent competition, it was super bad. Made me swear off singing, but music was my first love, and we saw bulldogs at that point. So Robin was thinking maybe there's a Georgia Bulldog connection there. And then she sang the Alanis Morissette song "Uninvited." First of all, that is an amazing song. I love it so much. And look, Alanis is maybe not known as one of the most powerhouse vocalists around, but that song really does, I think, stretch the chops. And this person just nailed it. It was such an amazing performance. So David Spade came out afterwards with a clue because he wanted to promote his new show, Snake Oil, which I will be doing a TV review of here in the next week or two. But the clue from David Spade says movie soundtrack. It was a picture of like a vinyl album, and it said movie soundtrack on it. And the Gazelle said, I act in movies and sing in them. All right, so the guesses from the panel, you had Camilla Mendez, who is from Riverdale, and Jenny made that guess, and she pointed out that the Bulldogs are the mascots in Riverdale at the high school. Lucy Hale was thrown around, not a bad guess, and then Vanessa Hudgens was the Nicole guess, and of course, High School Musical, she was big in that. My first thought, before I heard the singing, was, and this person I think would never do this show. She's too big a star. But I was thinking Emma Stone, actually. And the reason is, she said it was super bad about her talent competition. Obviously, she got her big break in the movies with Superbad, but fans of Emma Stone may know that she actually auditioned for a Partridge Family revival on VH1 back a few years before Superbad. She was doing like the Susan Day role. I forget what the character's name is. Laurie Partridge, maybe. I was not a huge Partridge Family fan. I'm a Brady Bunch man. But anyway, and I knew she was a star immediately. I saw this talent. It was like a reality kind of show. And I was like, wow, who is this person? And then a couple years later, she was in Superbad. I was like, oh my God, that's that girl that the Partridge Family show, I guess, never took off. They never made it or whatever. But she did win the role. So when she said it, I crashed and burned at the competition. Okay, maybe not. But anyway, then I heard the singing, and I was like, all right, this is not Emma Stone. Obviously, she sang in La La Land. She was fine. But she can't sing like this. My guess, and this I don't know, but this is, I was thinking Broadway people. I was thinking of people who sing in movies and just who has that kind of a range. I think this could be Idina Menzel. Interestingly enough, I actually put my Disney shirt on before I even watched this episode, so it has nothing to do with her being in Frozen or anything that I wore this shirt. But I think this could be Idina Menzel. I mean, not many people have this enormous range. So I don't know. We'll see. She may be too big a star for this show. I'm not sure, but I don't know much about a talent competition as a teenager, but certainly, her Broadway creds speak for themselves. So that's my guess for now on the Gazelle. You let me know your thoughts. All right. Next was the Diver. And this said, extra, extra, read all about it in the clue package, like an old newspaper. And he said, Masked Singer seems like a nice escape. I've been everyone's favorite person to hate lately, and I get it. Well, he didn't say lately. I think I might have added that. I've made mistakes, but honestly, I did it for love. And at that point, we see an hourglass. He said, I've been a scapegoat for every bad dude. Everyone judges me. And I am hoping that being on the show, all of that will melt away. And at that point, we see a suit of armor with a lion on it and a compass. Where the west, it's got the north, east, and south just fine, but the west says MW, not just W. So Jenny was thinking Midwest. I thought maybe it could be initials or something. But he said he's not ready to go back to the real world just yet. I want to get my head in the game. And then he sings Any Way You Want It by Journey. He does an okay job, I think. And then the clue, David Spade doesn't do any more. The clue is just the masked men or whatever, the men in black they call them. Come out, and we see a picture of a Masked Money magazine. It says 11 million eyes on Diver opens another business. And he says people talk about his business, and he wishes they would, keep out. All right. One guess was Adam Levine. I think that was a terrible guess. I don't know who said that, but it wasn't good. Vocally, that's just not Adam Levine. And then a couple of guesses of people I've heard of, but honestly, I couldn't pick them out of a lineup. Scott Disick is one of them. I think maybe he's a Kardashian hanger-on or something. I don't know. And then the other one is Tom Sandoval, who I only know because this radio show that I podcast every morning talks about all the news with Scandoval and Vanderpump Rules and all of this nonsense that I could not care less about. That's the only reason I even know who this person is. So look, it might be one of these people. It's not Adam Levine, but it might be Tom Sandoval or Scott Disick. I wouldn't know. But so here's the person I thought of. I don't know what MW would mean for either one of them. But this is so stupid. But I was thinking when he said, I've been everybody's favorite person to hate, and I get it. I was thinking it was John Gosselin. Remember, they had John and Kate plus 8, and lately, I guess it's turned out that Kate kind of is horrible and whatever. I never liked her to begin with. But John Gosselin, when he says, I've made mistakes, but honestly, I did it for love, we saw an hourglass, and hourglasses are shaped like 8. So you had John and Kate plus 8. That's just where my mind went on that. 11 million eyes on Diver. That was a very big show at the time. It could maybe have gotten 11 million viewers, at its peak. So I don't know. Look, it might be either of these other people, but I don't know them. I know John Gosselin at least a little bit from that show. So my guess for Diver is John Gosselin. Maybe it's a horrible guess. I don't know. Tell me in the comments what you think. I should point out, too, before we continue here, so if you heard in the news that Nicole Scherzinger will not be a part of Masked Singer, so that is true, but it's going to be for next season. Season 10 was filmed months and months ago, probably in the spring, and so she is a part of that. But apparently she's going to be in some revival, Andrew Lloyd Webber revival. I forget what show it is. Phantom of the Opera, maybe? I don't remember. But anyway, she's going to be doing that in London, and rehearsals have already started. So for season 11, which will be probably in the spring on Fox, we're going to have our first change ever to the main 4 on the panel. Rita Ora will step in for Nicole. And Rita Ora, I believe, has done the UK version of Masked Singer as a panelist. So, she's not a newbie to the game. But if you did hear that Nicole won't be on Masked Singer and you're like, oh, well, she was on tonight, yes, she will be in full on season 10, but it's season 11, which should be in the spring that she will not be on. All right, so let's continue here. We've got the Samore. And this is a swashbuckling Samore. He has like the Robin Hood cap on or whatever. He says, I've been blazing my own trail. I had a rocket ride to fame from obscurity to heartthrob in just weeks. Millions cheered me. What did I write here? Sometimes my writing is so small, and I write so many clues here. Millions cheered me to step by step. Millions cheered me on step by step. That's what it says. As I became a household name, we see a sailboat at that point, a deep dish pizza, and a soda, a tip jar. And he said, I've traveled near and far making headlines with my friends. We see a Christmas tree and an angel at that point. But I hung up my cape, and it's not the end of the road. I am hungry for a new journey. And he sings Slow Hands by Niall Horan from One Direction. And we have a film canister for the after song clue that says, starring S'more. He says, I am talented on and off the stage. All right, some of the guesses from the panel, they picked up on the step-by-step clue. Of course, my mind originally went to the TV show Step by Step, and I'm like, I don't think any famous kids really came out of that. Maybe some of the girls, but boys, I don't know. But Step by Step is, of course, a New Kids on the Block song, very successful. I think it hit #1 in 1990. So Joey McIntyre was guessed by somebody on the panelists, and of course, Jenny McCarthy, married to Donnie Wahlberg from New Kids. So if it is somebody from New Kids, should probably know it, right? Justin Guarini, though, was her guess, which is a great guess. I love that dude. I don't think this is his voice. He's sang a lot of things, and he is a Philly guy like myself. So he is also actually a friend of the morning show that I podcast. I've heard him sing many, many times. I don't think this is his voice. But then the one that got me was Kevin Richardson. Robin thought that could be the case. He was feeling the boy band vibes there. Kevin Richardson is from the Backstreet Boys. And I'm going with that guess. And here's why. So the whole step-by-step thing, well, about, I don't know how many years ago now, maybe 10, maybe 8, I don't know. But years ago, New Kids on the Block joined forces with Backstreet Boys to go out on this like super boy band type tour called NKOTBSB. And so the step-by-step could be indicating that. The thing that was throwing me, though, was the deep dish pizza, right? Chicago, deep dish. Boy bands are, for the most part, not from Chicago. You've got New Kids on the Block from Boston. You've got the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC from the Florida area. But then I thought, okay, well, Chicago maybe doesn't necessarily mean the city. What about the Broadway show Chicago? And guess who made their acting debut on the Broadway stage in Chicago about 20 years ago? Kevin Richardson of the Backstreet Boys. So, for me, this, I think, makes a lot of sense. And they do have a Christmas album, as far as I'm aware. I know NSYNC does, but Backstreet Boys have to have a Christmas album, right? So that could be part of the Christmas tree there. I don't know what the sailboat is or whatever, but in any event, I think I've put the clues together enough. And the voice, I don't necessarily know all the Backstreet Boys, solo voices or whatever, but the fact that he did pick another boy bander song with Niall from One Direction, I don't know. I think it's all fitting for me. I think the s'more is Kevin Richardson of the Backstreet Boys. All right. Rubber Ducky is next. And a little bit of a spoiler. He is the person who gets voted off. So before we get into our final member, the cow, we're going to go over all the Rubber Ducky clues and do the reveal. This one's unfortunate because I am like 100% sure on this. And if you're new to my channel and you're new to my Masked Singer videos, you're going to be like, oh, this guy watched it beforehand. This isn't really a live reaction. I promise you it is. If you've watched my videos before, you know that sometimes I just don't have a clue. But this one I knew actually, well, I think anyway. I think I know. I'm pretty sure. From the pentameter in the clue package, because I've seen this guy hosting things, and I know, and I've seen him in interviews, and I know sort of the pattern in which he speaks. Now, he was doing sort of a rap thing, a rhyming clue package, but it was the way he was sort of saying his sentences that tipped me off. So then I had to work backwards to put the clues together, and I did just that. So we see the horror 3 to 4 as the first thing. It's like a VHS tape. He says he's been in movies and TV shows, started out as humble, from nothing to fame, tried stand-up, but it wasn't for me, he says. And then we see a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio. He says, now I'm a household name. I didn't do it alone, though. My family was with me. Then we see a turtle. And then the song he does is Come On, Eileen. It is not a good performance. I figured he would be voted off, to be perfectly fair. But the guesses from the panel remained the same at the end of the night when it was revealed he was going home. So, we can go through those as they are. Jenny was thinking Marlon Wayans, which she stuck with. She was thinking, scary movie kind of stuff. Robin went with David Arquette, which is, not a bad guess. Of course, he played on the Scream movies. Ken was thinking Anthony Anderson. And then Nicole was thinking Jaleel White. I believe this is Anthony Anderson. And here's why. So first of all, like I said, I could kind of tell from the way he was speaking. He hosts a game show called To Tell the Truth, and I've seen him on many, many talk shows as well, and I watched his show Blackish. Oh, and the after singing clue, I should say that. My family is full of stars, which obviously could be an allusion to the Blackish program. And then it was like a headshot with his little rubber ducky family, and they all signed it, autograph style. But also, his mother is a mainstay character on To Tell the Truth, his real life mother. So that's part of the family thing as well. But obviously, a lot of the people from Blackish, have become famous in other areas as well. So that could be something. But okay, then the clues themselves. So Leonardo DiCaprio was in The Departed. Anthony Anderson had a bit role in that movie, which Ken did point out. By the way, I hate that Ken said Anthony Anderson, because I was like, I hate agreeing with Ken, especially in the first week. But so there was that, and then that VHS tape at the beginning, the horror 3 and 4. He was in Scary Movie 3 and Scary Movie 4, and he was also in Scream 4, and no other scary movies or screams. So that makes sense. And then the whole stand-up thing. He, I think, was originally maybe part of that Kings of Comedy thing with, like, Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey and stuff. I think he was one of those original guys, but then he sort of found his way into acting, and so that's where he went. So look, without further ado, because I'm pretty sure this one is a slam dunk. I hate that Ken said it, but I believe fully that this is Anthony Anderson. So let's go to the Take It Off and see where we're at here. All right. I think it must be. Yeah, there he is. It says award-winning actor and comedian. I can't believe Ken was right. I cannot believe Ken was right. The first week, no less. He's literally never right. And here he is the first week. Yeah, I mean, look, anybody that watches To Tell the Truth, I think, could have gotten that. Nobody can believe Ken got it right. All right. Ken looks great, by the way. He's wearing like a purple suit, like a Prince suit. All right. Yeah, listen, I mean, that one to me was a slam dunk. So without further ado, I'm already 1 for 1 for the season. We love this. Last season, I started out 0 for 2. Proof that I definitely don't watch these beforehand. I think the first one unmasked last year was Dick Van Dyke, and my jaw was dropped about that. I forget who I guessed, but it was not close. All right, so finally we've got the cow. We'll end there. And we start in a black and white kitchen. He said, cows like me don't often make it out of their pen. But I was encouraged when I was younger to stay home and have a simple life in black and white. And at that point, we see a thing that says two-step coffee. Two-step reminds me, of course, of a dance move, so maybe a dancer. He said, I've got big dreams of being a big star. We see a calendar that says July 4th. He said, I had trouble with emotions until I discovered that I could write. And we see cookbooks at that point, and there's a strawberry cake. Don't know what that has to do really with anything, but then we see a sign that says Las Vegas. He said, all of that led me to number 1. I have won Grammys, traveled the world. I've had hit after hit. And we saw pilot wings as well, like those little wings that they give like the kids on airplanes. And the song he did was Bones by Imagine Dragons. Killed it. From the clue package, they were not sure if it was a female or a male. And once the singing began, the panelists were like, okay, this is pretty sure this is a dude. So all the guesses are in that vein. The clue after the singing was blockbuster movie. He said, one of the most well-known things about me is a movie. Okay. So the guesses from the panel: Sean Stockman from Boys to Men, Usher. It's interesting because one of the other things, I think the S'more said, it's not the End of the Road. End of the Road is a Boys to Men song. So it's interesting the Boys to Men guest came for the cow. But Sean Stockman. Usher was guest. Now, of course, this was recorded long before Usher was announced as the Super Bowl headlining show, which I think is cool. I like Usher. And then Leslie Odom Jr., our friend Nicole Scherzinger has been on that one for many seasons now. And I guessed him a lot that one year that it turned out it was like the singing doctor or whatever. It was like the COVID season. And Dr. Elvis something or other, I forget now. And I don't even know if I knew him at the time. But anyway, I was like really going hard for Leslie Odom Jr. at that point. I actually don't think that's a bad guess because obviously you've got the July 4th thing with Hamilton. I don't know about the cookbooks, but he has at least one Grammy. He has traveled the world. I don't know about the two-step coffee thing. But look, other than Hamilton, I don't know too much about him. My only other guess, kind of in that vein, was Billy Porter. I feel like Billy Porter has a higher singing voice than this, but he does, famously love coffee. He is doing a Vegas residency. I don't know if that's started yet, but there is a Vegas residency coming, I think, for him. And obviously, he's had his Broadway shows as well. So, I think two-step with that. I don't know. I'm a little bit lost. I think this is the one I'm most lost on. So you guys might have to help me out with the cow. For now, though, I guess I'll go with Nicole, and I'll probably be burned again. But I'm gonna again say Leslie Odom Jr. From Hamilton. Maybe we'll get him this time. I don't know. But all right, listen, that will do it for the episode next week. I don't know if we're going to get 5 new contestants or if we're going to see the remaining 4 from this week and then a wild card added in. I don't know how they're going to do the season and how they're going to structure that. We will check it out next week. But in the meantime, look, comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Did you figure Anthony Anderson out? Or, were you a little bit in the weeds with that one? Let me know who you think is under the cow for sure. What do you think of my Idina Menzel guess for the Gazelle? Oh, and that rhymes too. Idina Menzel, Gazelle. I don't know. That could be something, right? All right. Thank you so much for watching. Dan Reviews It. And if you're just joining me for Massinger, I'll see you next week. If not, though, check out some of my other videos during the week. I'll have a lot to post about here, movie and TV-wise, coming up. So, all right. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.